Okay, of course it just started snowing here, but let's walk around the front. It's kind of how the front is sitting. I do have another grill that is not painted. This is all real light Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. I have all the blinker assemblies and all the bezels that go in there. Those are half-ton springs that I put in there because I don't have any 3/4 tons. The originals were broken. They're on BJ's 1-inch lift heavy-duty shackles. You would want to put proper 3/4 ton springs in there. The hood I never painted. The rest of the truck I did. I just kind of sprayed it with real thin Krylon matte camo tan. You have a full windshield trim there. It's going to need a windshield. This one's cracked. They're not too hard to find. Sorry about the mess. I wasn't expecting this, but floor pans are in good shape. That's usually a problem area on these. I basically just cleaned it out and I just coated this. A problem area is usually the cab corners. Cab corners on this are fine. I did swap in this later auto column. I just kind of stripped off some of the auto bits, but and of course the steering wheel that came with it. I put in a new gauge cluster. Has a 120-mile-an-hour one, which is a little bit rare, kind of hard to find, but that all works. Let's see. The dash pad was pretty bad, so I stripped it out. That's what all those holes are. Dash pads are a little bit hard to find, but not impossible. You can take out this dash to do any work on it, and it's best to do when the windshield is out. Let's see. There's no roof liner on it. I do have some of the trim pieces, but I don't have a headliner. Those are aftermarket, about $100. Or like I said, the best way is just to find another J truck and with a good interior and strip it out. Door panels are real easy to make or find. I have all the handles that you need. Trying to see what else in here. That's about how that looks. Rear glass, the seal was a little bit boogered up, but I got it put back in there, and the truck's nice and dry inside. It hasn't leaked at all. They usually leak from the fresh air intake right there, and I keep that covered so water doesn't pour down. I did clean that all out. I flushed it out with a hose, so your fresh air intake kind of comes down here and comes in this panel. And from sitting, there was a little bit of rust down there, but like I said, I cleared that all out great. These are kind of hard to find, this weather stripping for the doors. There are vendors that sell them. They're a little bit of a pain to work with, but they're findable. Let's see, on the bed, this is where it had an auxiliary tank, then probably an original one at some point. And what I did is I kind of put in this plate, but behind this plate, that's where the funnel is, where you can fill gas to move it around. But the gas tank is hung. You would just have to kind of figure out a gas thing. Underneath this snow, there's some boards. There's a full-length rubber mat back here, but basically the area of the bed right in here is it's all rotted out. That was just from snow sitting on it. Has a nice heavy bumper on it. I think these things are rated to pull about 7,000 pounds with this setup. Tailgates are very hard for J trucks. This one does latch and close, but it was damaged. They kind of command a good price, like $300 to $400 for one. But if you work with metal, actually this one would straighten out just fine. And let's see. The whole lower half of the truck, I basically did that line of coating. That'll come right off of acetone if you get into the body work. It did have a bit of seam rot in here. This fender has some damage down in here. That could probably straighten out just fine. Although actually this fender should be replaced. Fenders run anywhere from $75 to $200. I'm sure Bob could find you one. I do have a front bumper for it. It was a little bit tweaked, but it has the brackets and everything. Okay, this is the engine. A heater core goes there. I have it. It's all taken apart. It needs a new inner core. I have the housing for it. The cores are about 50 bucks. You can order those online or get them at Napa. Real easy to do. I went through and there's new exhaust manifolds on it. The ones that are on it were blown out, so I took them off. Did new gaskets. They need a final tightening. Has a, I can't get that off by hand. It has a Holley 4300 on it. Those didn't come original. They came on the years before, but the 4300 is a lot easier to work with than the 4350. Fires right up, and it's actually jetted for our altitude. Let's see. No AC. Everything else is fine on it. There was no leaks. I've run it probably for about 5 hours total, and it'll sit there and idle till it runs out of gas. It does have exhaust pipes on it with some cherry bombs. They're not welded. They're just kind of bolted up with new donut gaskets. But it's loud. Let's see. I redid all the gas lines with the rubber hose. I have my own setup to avoid vapor lock, and it works great. Brand new filters. I have a clear filter going up to here. I always insulate these gas lines. Never had a problem, even sitting like this. Yeah. So that's about basically where she sits, you know. I was just getting it ready. I was just kind of, anything I did to the body was just out of just doing spray wrenching instead of working on something important. But yeah, she's a good truck. Has 373 gears, 3/4 ton. These are split rims. You don't want to run those, but that's what comes on it. I have the original ones for the front. These are just some rollers that I borrowed. And I did put a eBay radiator in there. They're cheap, but they work. Okay.